Sorry, my legs are all messed up. And my glasses are all bent up, so. Yeah, I'm a real mess right now. Hmm. It could just be, So there is I believe there's a divine order or fate, you know? I kind of do. No matter how things pan out here and whatever the scenarios are, ultimately there's a divine order and fate, right? God's plan, right? I mean, no matter whose Akashic records you look into, right? Everyone has a divine plan on this earth. I don't see the point in looking into anybody's Akashic records or their divine plan or whatever. You know why? Because there's too many factors involved down here. Unless I absolutely have to, and it's necessary. You know what I mean? I might look at the first layers, but I'm not going to dig deeper, really, unless they want me to. And I don't know if I can do it accurately. I can do the first layer, but first couple of layers, maybe 1, 2, and I can scratch at the 3, but maybe 1 and 2, but the rest is up to you. There's too many factors involved, you know? Too many different players in everybody's lives. You know what I mean? Yeah. Why just look at one person? Why not look at many people that surround this person? What does this player have to do in the divine order and plan? What's their role in connection? So anyways, we all have one, right? Some more important than others. I'm not a worldwide prime minister or whatever. I don't rule a country or a city or nothing. I don't even rule my own home. So you got a different divine order, right? Divine plan. regardless if we incorporate the whole idea of good and bad and God and Christ. Ultimately, we're all woven into some kind of weird, like, spiritual fabric. We're all meant to cross paths at some point for whatever reason. Maybe to awaken something in each other, to reflect on important issues within ourselves. Yeah. So do I feel like me trying to find out about someone's divine order or plan is necessary? Not really. I'd find out about my own before I'd find out about anybody else's. Because I know I'm just as big of a player as anybody else in this game. It's only made by importance, by the way you, I don't know. What are you looking to advertise? What do you want to show the world? You know? What side is your favorite profile on your face? Just curious. How do you want to be known as So Julia? You know? Like, what's your I'm so Julia? You know, I'm so everywhere, I'm so Julia by Charlie XCX. I might play that. We all have that. I'm so Julia. Everybody has their own. Just how you use it. You know? You think you're gonna get off anyone if you know you can be a worldwide sensation with something you already have? Why take a drink of water when you can have, like, I don't know, a jug, a gallon of, like, Evian? You know what I mean? You already have a gallon of Evian. Why do you need, like, a small, like, trial-sized bottle? Why even pay all that garbage for a trial-sized bottle when you can get the discount for a couple dollars cheaper, but still pay, like, you know, a relatively reasonable price for a gallon of, I don't know, Evian. Some nice smooth shit, you know. You already got what you have. Why do you want more? You want that trial size? You'd waste your time on that. Say, for instance, I was rich and famous. Alright, just say I was. And I wasn't obsessed with anybody else, you know. I was trying to figure out who the fuck I was and what my plan in action in this world was. I could look at someone and say, man, that guy right there, he seems to be doing good. How do I be like that? I don't study him. I understand first off. Uh, I'm going to have to do some work on myself. It's not about understanding what he's doing, but I have to look into my own problems and who I am, right? And what's important to me, because I notice these elements about him that are evident, you know, like who he is as a person, what he does. Um, you know, he doesn't care about, I don't know, people's bullshit. He's more concerned about himself. I wouldn't be obsessed with him, but I'd understand that, well, it's about self discovery. I'm smart enough to know that. At least I know that. Understanding myself as a person. I understand that. I don't see him as a potential foe. I see him as someone I can learn something from to better myself, right? To understand myself better. So you fuck around with God's divine plan, all right? Because, you know, you heard such and fuck. But you don't know that this person didn't cross this person's life for whatever reason. And you didn't look into their life story and their Akashic records and their divine plan. And what their misguided roles and challenges became. Yeah. And then you find out. You fucked around and found out that not only did you create one problem, but you created many on a ricochet, just a karmic dharma scale. Like, you're kind of fucking shit up as you go, you know. You're not solving anything. You're just looking for problems. Making problems, looking for problems. Making problems, looking for problems. There's no solution. It's just one criminal act after another, or one bullshit act after another, or one blasphemous heretic act after another. Until your divine plan goes to shit. And you can't keep up the charade, you know. At some point it just falls apart. Just falls the fuck apart. The world's like, what the hell's going on here? This shit is madness, you know. Like, what the fuck was going on here long before we even knew? And now we're looking at a mess that nobody can clean up, right? We don't know who the real actors that are good or bad at this point. All we know is that over and over and over and over again, we have another mess day in and day out. Trying to clean one mess up and making another. For whatever reason. It's always one after another. It's nonstop, right? I guess you can call it work to some extent. If you like that kind of work. I don't know. Self-improvement sounds like a better idea. Why chase after a glass of Evian when you can have a whole gallon that you already have in your backpack? You know what I mean? Probably tastes better. It's cheaper. And it comes in bulk. You live in America, right? It's not like you're driven by some weird sexual fetish anymore, since you already have enough in your bank. I don't know. Who knows? Creeps are creeps, I guess. Can't change that. They'll always be driven by creepy shit. I don't know. You always know a creep from how. They'll always call out someone as a creep. They'll always be like, creep, 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 creep. You know, like, I gotta expose this guy as a creep. It's just my destiny. Right? They can't do it themselves, right? They're not smart enough to do it themselves. So it's my job and duty in this world to do it. We all know, anyways. The funny thing is that people always think you're dumb as fuck. Sometimes I just have to play surveillance camera at the front of my apartment. I call it surveillance camera, you know. I have to. No options. At the front of my house. At my doorstep. It's not like I'm going around in a car busting bullshit garbage, no. I just sit at the front door. You learn a lot, right? Anyways, God's divine plan. I guess no matter how you want to write the script, it's going to be written one way or another. Whether you like it or not, or how you want to write it. Gotta like fuck around and find out, right? You want to fuck around and find out. You'll fuck around and find out. Anyways, I'm going to start off with something fun on this topic. You'll learn. Coffee once again. I get tired of running the same game over and over that never works anymore. Sometimes I just need to retire because I'm an old man. Find a hobby, a good one. I don't know, a productive one. One you'll be remembered for in times past as something good. I don't know. Anyways, I was thinking, I'm gonna redo these. So I did them. How fun. The Masonic Temple, the Freemasons. You know, I redid it. Yeah, totally overhauled the whole goddamn thing. Made it more heavenly. Yeah. So, and instead of like the ladies of the Eastern Stars, like the Order of the Eastern Stars, I know those ladies, they don't have their own real temple. So I thought, why not just convert this one? It seemed great enough. It just needed to be illuminated at nighttime and changed to the Order of the Eastern Star. They never really had their own temple. Not that I could find in Salina. Like, there wasn't like the Masonic Temple, you know. I don't know where it's at. I've never seen it. I've never been there. But yeah. Pretty, isn't it? But it's still pretty. Quite heavenly. Anyways, we'll come back to it. We'll overhaul it someday, I guess. Change it up, you know. Make it God's divine plan. What's God's divine plan? No matter how you want to write the script, it still plays out. The concept of a divine plan by God related to theological ideas, such as God's plan or the plan of salvation, which describes how God guides the universe, interacts with humanity and offers a way to overcome sin and its consequences. Major theological concepts: divine providence, God's active involvement, care, and guidance over the universe and human history. Plan of salvation, the framework through which God redeems humanity, often centers on faith, grace, and spiritual rebirth. Predestination, the doctrine that all events have been willed by God, often includes the specifics of salvation of some or all individuals. Then you got the Latter-day Saints view, a specific detailed progression known as the plan of salvation in Mormonism, outlining the mortal life as a test and an opportunity for eternal progression. Tablet of the Divine Plan, a series of foundational letters by Abdullah Baha regarding the spread of faith of the Baha'i faith. So God's divine plan. Well, you know, could be anything, right? Some people think they're in charge. The Akashic records are thought to be a cosmic energetic library or database. They hold the complete history of every soul, including every thought, word, action, and intent from past, present, and future. The word Akasha comes from Sanskrit and means ether, sky, or space. Universal database. I like this idea. Think of it as a energetic Google or a web page for every living being and event in the universe. Soul's library. Each person has individual file or book detailing their past lives, current lives, and fortune, future potentials. Theosophy and mysticism, popularized by the West by Theosophy and mystic Edgar Casey, who uses them for intuitive insights. Purpose and use, spiritual growth. People use the records to understand deep life patterns and soul contracts. Healing proponents believe the records clears emotional wounds, fears, or karma. Seekers look for clarity on life choices, career paths, and relationships. How people access them: quieting the mind to tune into higher states of awareness. Prayer and intention, using specific sacred prayers or focused intention to open the records. Intuitive readers, hiring a trained practitioner to read the records for guidance. Guess what? You always know when you got heat on your ass when somebody else does too. Does that make sense? Yeah. The only time someone starts putting heat on your ass is when they have a lot on their ass too, and they don't know where to lash it out. So just make sure you hit all the right points and places where you feel like they got heat. Anyways, Akashic records. If you need to know, then go ahead. You might know more. It might help you out. But anyways, I already know. Sacrificial lamb. Great. Whatever you want. Akashic records in Theosophy. I'm sorry, my legs are all fucked up. They hurt like hell. Sacrificial lamb. Yeah. The prophecy is foretold. Yeah. Anyways. Akashic records. Akashic records in theosophy and the spiritual movement of anthroposophy philosophy, the Akashic records are believed by some to be a compendium of all universal events, thoughts, words, emotions, and intent, even to have occurred in the past, present, and future regarding the just humans. But all entities and life forms are believed by some theosophists to be encoded in a non-physical plane of existence known as the mental plane. Kasha, word for aether, sky, and or atmosphere. So, yeah. You never know what the truth is, right? What the real story is. You don't know every player's abilities in the game until you meet your match, right? You might think you meet your match until you actually meet your fucking match. Right? He sounds like someone I can take down. My God's telling you, at one point when you got heat on your ass and you're trying to put someone else out there with heat, telling them they have heat on their ass. Because you have too much heat on your ass and you don't know what to do. I guess that's when you meet your match, right? Don't worry. God always has a divine plan in place. God will always have a divine plan in place. Spiritual negotiations refer to the intersection of faith, mindfulness, and the art of the deal. It encompasses impersonal conflict resolution rooted in inner peace, as well as the deeply human tendency to bargain or converse honestly with a higher power during times of crisis. Yeah, during times of crisis. That's the only time when prayer is the most important. In times of crisis. Yeah, karma. Karma is an ancient Sanskrit word meaning action or deed. In major religions like Hinduism and Buddhism, it represents a spiritual law of cause and effect. Your intentions, thoughts, words, and actions shape your future, your present life, and your future rebirths. Karma is not just physical behavior. It includes your hidden thoughts and spoken words. Intent drives the outcome. Every action sets off a reaction. Good deeds lead to positive outcomes, while harmful deeds create negative consequences. So I always say, if you're finding solutions, you're going to find solutions. If you're looking for problems, you're going to find problems. Not cosmic vengeance. Karma is a natural law of momentum, not a personal judge or scorekeeper handing out instant rewards or punishment. Nope. Just what you're looking for. Anyways, Dharma. Dharma is a core concept in Eastern religions like Hinduism and Buddhism. It means cosmic law, righteousness, moral duty, and the right way to live. The word comes from a Sanskrit root that means to hold or to support. It is what keeps balance and order in the universe and in human life. So, the natural laws and truth that keep the universe stable. Can't keep everything in balance. Anyways, China's win-win cooperation, Gongi, is a core foreign policy and diplomatic framework introduced heavily under President Xi Jinping. It presents Beijing's approach to international relations as a mutual beneficial alternative to traditional Western zero-sum Cold War mentalities. So, yeah. It's about both sides coming to a compromise to both win. Uh, in traditional religious texts, God achieves ultimate victory and receives his divine plan, while Satan falls and faces eternal punishment. God gets his desired outcome of justice and redemption, whereas Satan fails to overthrow God and instead faces total defeat. All right. So, what happens to Satan in the end? According to biblical prophecy in the book of Revelation, Satan will be bound in an abyss for 1,000 years, released briefly for a final rebellion, and then permanently cast into the lake of fire to face eternal torment. Popular culture often depicts Satan as the ruler of hell, but scripture presents him as a prisoner who faces ultimate defeat. All right. I guess you can read these, Revelations 20. I'm not going to really go into them, but this is according to the Bible in Revelation. So, all right, and but we'll let you look at that if you really need to look. I don't know if it's the right verse. I don't know. It might be, but so yeah. I don't know. Who knows? I don't know. Anyways, Revelations 20, I guess. I don't know. In Christian theology, what happens to the people to all the people in the end? In Christian theology, the end times brings a final judgment for all humanity. Believers are resurrected or transformed to receive eternal life on a new earth, while those who reject God face final separation and punishment. Views on those left behind or unrepresented vary widely by specific tradition and eschatological frameworks. Christians teach those that have faith in Jesus. I don't know. Maybe the cough that went around the world already figured that out. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. Fuck if I know. Hell if I know. Maybe that cough already took whoever it needed to take. Who knows? The 144,000 or plus. Who knows? That's why shit sucks now, probably. In Christian eschatology, end times theology, those left behind during the rapture are all people who have not placed their personal faith and belief in Jesus Christ as Savior. According to the viewpoint, believers, both living and dead, are taken up to heaven, while everyone else remains on earth. I don't know. I seem to still be here, I guess. So, yeah. Anyways. Let's see. In Christian eschatology, those left behind during the rapture are people who have not placed their faith. Okay, we already know that. Place their faith in Jesus Christ. According to popular prophecy interpretations, believers are taken to heaven, while unbelievers and the unrighteous remain on earth to face a period of severe global trials known as the tribulation. All right. I guess you can read that. I don't know if these are the right Bible verses. You figure it out. I just know it's something along these lines. So basically, we're the ones that are fucked, right? We're the ones that have to deal with all the bullshit. Anyways, since the cough already went around the world, I guess. People left behind in Christian end times theology, people left behind after the rapture face the great tribulation, a period of global distress and divine judgment, detailed primarily in Revelations chapter 6 through 16. The concept of people being taken with others remaining is drawn from gospel and episcopal passages, while the unfolding events from left behind are mapped in the book. I don't know. Masonic Temple. Real cool, right? Order of the Eastern Star doesn't really have temples. I totally redid them. I totally redid them. What do you guys think? If I were to create one, this is probably what I would create. Look at that shit. In Salina at nighttime. That'd be pretty cool, right? That's just like the new idea. So, and since the ladies never have one, this is how I would totally redo it. I think the ladies would like this one. It's like the old one that I showed, but instead it has the Order of the Eastern Star at night. So, yep, totally. Ladies would love that, I think, at nighttime. Very feminine, I think. Very symmetrical. So. Totally redo it for those ladies because I don't think they have one yet. So I think that's a better idea. I like the point. The points is just looks nice. Very futuristic, but the boys, we can keep it old school, but updated like that. With more blue, because blue is totally boys. And when yeah, people walk by it in Salina and be like, wow. And we can put James Terrell's name on it. The designer and the Chinese firm that provided all the materials. So. Totally. Standing artwork in Salina. Anyways. Totally redid it. Changed it all up. Said, out with the old, in with the new. Can you imagine a bunch of Harley Davidsons riding up there? Psychic Harley Davidson. Masonic psychics. Woo! Yeah. Real cool. And real Eastern Star psychic women. Not the phony ones that look like witches, but the ones that are legit 100%. Imagine. Should we go outside for another cigarette? I think I deserve one after that class. We'll see how things change, maybe. If it's cooler outside and there's not so much fucking heat. We'll see. Because the heat's so hot outside in Kansas this time of year. Everybody's rushing around trying to get into the AC. I can't go out much, so right now I'm on a starvation diet. With something growing, I think, inside of me. I don't know. After those frickin' shots, I feel like a beast now. Like Tetsuo. So, yeah. know who Tetsuo is? We talked about Akira last time, right? Akira turning into a beast. Oh my goodness. Because he has like ultimate psychic powers. And like, till he takes out pretty much all the bad guys in the film. So, I guess that's what happens when you're not being polite and you start getting real, like, 5 strangers pick to live in a loft and have their lives taped. And find out what happens when people stop being polite and start getting real. The real world, Salina, Kansas. You know? The real world, Salina, Kansas. The real world, Salina, Kansas. So, people go no holds barred when they're losing, you know. Everything becomes an all or nothing issue. Boy, what a beautiful sky it is. No holds barred at the last minute when shit starts hitting the fan. That's what the old guy in Germany did. And since then, they keep trying to make a lesson of him, right? He's the example you don't want to be, right? You want to be like, look, don't worry. We'll rewrite history for him. Until everyone calls him out. What a beautiful fucking you know, God's divine plan. God has a different story to write. He hates the same old tune with it. The same old story with a different tune every day. I can't imagine how much trouble I'm in at this point. Apparently a lot. So much. So fucking much. God, it's all quiet now. Why is it so quiet? It was busy. It must have been, I don't know what. Fucking, wait a second. Yeah, work rush hour, right? Rush hour. And by rushing around to get home, you know. Sometimes they say, when I'm watching TikTok, you know what they say? They say you're very lucky you don't go out much. You don't know how much of the bullshit you're missing right now. Yeah, I remember those days. How much of the bullshit I'm missing right now. You know what Emily Dickinson was? Get out of here, botfly. Don't you want to go outside? Or you want to be in here? So I just like playing surveillance camera and beautiful skies in Salina. I don't get to go out much, so, you know. But Emily Dickinson, she was a poet. And a recluse. She wrote some of the best poetry in the world, they say. They say you could read her, I think it's true. You could read her poetry to the tune of Gilligan's Island. I've done it a couple of times. It seems true. Let's check it out. It's so quiet. So peaceful until you blow a fuse. I want to see how Emily Dickinson liked to sing. You want to see? She was a recluse who wrote poetry. Some of the best in the world, I guess. She was a dark romantic, too. Like Edgar Allan Poe, they say. I mean, go figure. Oh, shit. Emily Dickinson. Just to end the day. We'll keep the other one rolling. I gotta wash up and look pretty. So. Let's see. Emily Dickinson. Sorry. Old man James. Can't see very well. Thank God I don't have dementia yet. I might be a loser old man, but at least I don't have dementia yet. So... or Alzheimer's. Let's see, what's this? We talked as girls do. Let's see. I guess this is like one of her famous ones, but Success is counted sweetness by those who've never succeeded. To comprehend a nectar requires sorest needed. Not one of those, of all the purpose hosts. We took the flag today. We can tell the definition so clear of victory, as he defeated dying on those forbidden ears. The distant stains of triumph burst agonizing and clear. Let's try the Gilligan's Island one. Let's see. Emily Dickinson poems, Gilligan's Island. But yeah, apparently he died today. Let's see. Tune. Poetry in Gilligan's Island. Tune. Can we sing? Give me a poem. Give me one of her poems. Yeah. Which one? I want one with the whole, yeah. Because I could not stop for death. Because I could not stop for death. Let's just put that. Which one? Because I could not stop for death. You know, she didn't really title her poems. They just like went off her first. Let's see. I'll just try this one. Because I could not stop for death, he kindly stopped for me. The carriage held but just ourselves and immortality. Wait, is that Emily Dickinson? That has to be, right? See if we can find another one. Poetry in Gilligan's Island. Emily Dickin's poem to the tune of Amazing Grace, or even more enjoyable song, Gilligan's Island. Another Emily Dickinson poem I know is the thing with hope is the thing with feathers. It works too if you sing with it. Hope is the thing with feathers that perches in the soul and sings the tune without the words and never stops at all. I guess this one too. Is this one of her poems too? Let's get it straight, it's 268-1792, and I love you. Is this true? Tell us, Emily Dickinson, what songs, what poems? There's gotta be more. I know there's more, because I've read so many. Almost every. The Yellow Rose. Let's try that. The Yellow Rose of Texas. Yellow Rose of Texas. Texas. poem? Civil War poetry? Nope, that's not it. I need Emily Dickinson. There's more. Here's Natalie Merchant and Susan cover up Emily's Dickinson's. Because, well, I know there's more. I've read 1,000 of her poems like that. Seems like 1,000. I don't know why I can't find them now. Funny. There's gotta be more. I know there's gotta be more. Pinterest. Oh, Threads. They canceled me. Let's see if they have one on Facebook. Here's the, just sit right. And here's Miss. And sweetest in the gale is heard. Let's see. And sweetest in the gale is heard. And sore must be the storm that could abash the little bird that kept so many warm. And that's Emily Dickinson. Like I said, she didn't title her poems, and most of them. She was really good, though. So I guess we know what Emily Dickinson may have sang like, huh? Wonder what happened. Let's see, maybe this Pinterest song. Wonder who just. Wonder who wins in the end. Gilligan's Island or Emily Dickinson, huh? Who's more important? Maybe we can find one. Here's one. This one? Yeah, Emily Dickinson. Love's humility, my worthiness is all my doubt. His merit, all my fear, contrasting which my qualities do lowly appear. Least I should insufficient prove for his beloved need, the chiefest apprehension within my loving creed. So I, the undivine abode of his elect content, confirm my soul as 'twere a church unto her sacrament. Oh, sounds like she turned into Jesus Christ all of a sudden. Ain't that funny? I guess who's Jesus Christ now, right? Huh. Let's read this. Because I could not stop for death. Okay. Because I could not stop for death, he kindly stopped for me. The carriage held but just ourselves and immortality. We slowly drive, he knew no haste, and I had put away my labor and my leisure too for his civility. We passed the school where children strove at recess in the ring. He passed the fields of grazing grain, we passed the setting sun. Or rather, he passed us. The dews grew quivering and chill, for only gossamer my gown, my tippet only twill. He paused before a house that seemed a swelling of the ground. The roof was scarcely visible, the cornice but a mound. Since then, 'tis centuries, and yet each feels shorter than the day I first surmised the horse's head, or toward eternity. Hmm. Interesting. Talking about death. Let's see, what else do we have here by Emily Dickinson? No, we still have that death one. That's crazy. Everybody likes the death one, huh? I know there's a better one out there. I'm pretty damn sure. Oh, that's all because of it. If you were coming in the fall, I'd brush the summer by with half a smile and half a spurn, as housewives do a fly. If I could see you in a year, I'd blow the months in balls and put them each in separate drawers until their time befalls. Hope is thing with feathers that perch in the soul and sings a tune without the words and never stops at all. And sweetest in the gale is heard, and sore must be the storm that could abash the little bird that kept so many warm. I've heard it in the chillest land and on the strangest sea, yet never in extremity it asked a crumb of me. Is this one of her poems too? No, that's Bill Blatcher. The Bluebird. Before you thought of spring except as a surmise, you see God bless his suddenness, a fellow in the skies of independent hues, a little weather worn inspiriting habiliments of indigo and brown, with species of song, as if you to choose discretion in the interval, with gay delays he goes to some superior tree without a single leaf, and shouts for joy to nobody but his sephiric self. I guess that's one of her poems. I don't know. His angel self, huh? Right? Is this one of her? Yeah. Go tell it what a message to whom it is specified. Not murmur, not endearment, but simply we obeyed. Obeyed a lure, a longing. O nature, none of this. To lost sweet, said sweet Thermopylae, I'd give my dying kiss. Almost sounds hymnal, doesn't it? Almost sounds hymnal. Is this? No, that's another one. Is this one of hers too? Let's see. I don't know. Says it is. Anyway. Oh, give it motion, deck it sweet with artery and vein. Upon its fastened lips lay words, affiliates it again. To that pink stranger we called us, acquainted more with that than with this horizontal one that will not lift its hat. I wonder if there's more here. let's see. I'm sure that's one of hers, right? Expense cannot be lost, not joy, but a decree. Is deity has seen infinity, whose rumor's gates was shut so tight before my beam was sown. Not even a prognostic's push could make a dent thereon. The world that thou hast opened, shut for thee, but not alone. We all have followed thee, escape more slowly to the tracks of she. The tent is listening, but the troops are gone. I don't know. Is this to die without the dying and live without the life? This is the hardest miracle propounded to believe. Is that one of her poems? I don't know. What soft cherubic creatures these gentle women are. One would as soon assault a plush or violate a star. Such Dimitri convictions, a horror so refined, a freckled nature, human nature of deity a shame. It's such a common glory, a fisherman's decree, redemption, brittle lady, be so ashamed of thee. Eight o'clock p.m. The sun is set. I shall think of you at sunset and at sunrise, again at noon and forenoon and afternoon, and all wise, and evermore till this little heart stops beating and is still. The hills in purple syllables the day's adventures tell. Two little groups of continents just going home from school. We the ones who have the souls die oftener. Could I then shut the door, least me beseeching face, at last rejected be of her? Who knows? Ode to Emily, hope as a light. I gotta find, I think this is one. It was a quiet seeming day. There was no harm in earth or sky till the closing sun. They strolled an accidental red, a strolling hue, one would have said, to westward of the town. But when the earth began to jar, and houses vanished with a roar, and human nature hid, we comprehended by the all as those that dissolution saw, the poppy in the cloud. The poppy in the cloud. Were it but me that gained the height, were it but they fail, how many things a dying plain might they have lived they would, Were it but me they gained the height, but it were it but what they failed. So she said, I guess she says they failed. Yeah, they failed real bad. Before he comes, we weigh the time. 'Tis heavy and it's light. When he departs, in emptiness is the prevailing. I guess I would be fright instead of freight, but I don't know. Guess the story's out now, huh? Oh, here's some. To see her in a picture, to hear her is a tune, to know her a disparagement of others, to know her not affliction to her, to own her for a friend, a warmth as near as if the sun were shining in your hand. The clock strikes one, then that just strikes two. Some schism in the sum. The sorcerer from Genesis has wrecked the pendulum. Ooh, did Emily Dickinson just say that? Well, we know who that was. I spy with my little eye. Yep. Did we abolish frost this summer, would not cease if season perish, or prevail it's optional with us. I years have been from home, and now before the door I dared not enter, lest a face I never saw before stole it into mine, and asked my business there. My business, but a life I left was such remaining there. I learned upon the all I lingered with before. The second like an ocean rolled and broke against my ear. I laughed a crumbling laugh that I could fear adore, whose consternation come past and never once before. I fitted to the latch my hand in trembled care, lest back the awful door should spring and leave me in the floor. Then moved my finger off, as cautioned as glass, and held my ear, and like a thief fled gasping from the house. Oh, sounds like a murder, huh? Doesn't it? Damn. Is Emily Dickinson trying to tell us something right now? Huh. Too scantily, too 'twas to die for you, the merest creek could that. The living sweet is costlier, I offer even that. The dying is a trifle past, but living this include, the dying multifold, without the respite to be dead. Keep it up. Huh. Afraid of whom am I afraid? Not death, for whom is he? The porter of my father's lodge as much banished me. Of life 'twas odd, I fear a thing that comprehendeth me. In one or two existences as deity decree. Of resurrection is the East, afraid to trust the mom with her fed stasis forehead as soon impeach my crown. Well, I guess she just said that. I've seen kings fall from grace, like I said. I've seen kings fall from grace. I've seen kings fall. I've seen kings fall. Oh. I've seen kings fall. Talk to you later.